welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts Josh,
What's up?
Corey,
Yo.
and Jonah.
Hello.
Hello, indeed.
Nerd Age After Dark.
Yes, after dark.
Yeah.
During dark.
Yeah.
After dark.
During dark.
During dark. Ooh,
That's
Dark.
better.
nice,
Yes.
nice.
Golden. So we literally just finished the first two episodes of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, the new Amazon Prime TV show, and we're
We're gonna talk about
gonna
it.
do some discussion here on our thoughts, and I think we're just gonna spoil.
Full spoilers?
Yeah.
Full spoilers.
Yeah, full spoilers.
It's on Amazon.
So,
you can watch it.
Yeah. So if you
Watch
haven't-
it. Come back.
Yes,
Yes.
do that, and then let us know what you think. So let's get into it.
I want to hear what Josh thought.
I want to hear what you guys thought first, and then I'll fill in.
All right, I want to hear what Corey thought first.
Just because you guys say that first, means it's stupid. Okay. So first and foremost, I'll say that there's a lot of storylines going on, and so
Yeah.
it's a lot of. It gives me kind of Game of Thrones vibes as you're following different. They're like introducing all these storylines and these main characters. So for me, that's what a lot of this was kind of just getting familiar with the characters and kind of just like seeing what the trajectory is. And so I think most of them I liked. Some of them were weaker than others. Like some of the storylines weren't as good, but
Which one did you not like?
probably the Harfoot one.
Okay.
It's okay. It's just okay. Nothing I hated. The kind of end of Galadriel's kind of thing where she was with that dude, the boat guy. That was interesting to me just because of her journey is probably the most interesting, I guess. Another one I didn't like. No, I think they're all pretty interesting except for that Harfoot one. I'm not super, but it's got intrigue to it at least.
I feel like this is gonna. So just for the listeners, viewers, I feel like I'm gonna do this a lot where I'm not gonna remember names. We just got done watching it. There's a lot of characters, so
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of boat guy and
Meteor
elf
Man.
guy.
Meteor Man.
So if you're one of those people that really already has all the names down, pardon us as we
we
go
didn't
through this.
we didn't watch it with subtitles on, so I couldn't learn the names quickly.
I mean, I got some Nori,
yeah,
So
because she was missing so much. Poor
they
dad.
kept yelling after
the
her.
poor dad. Yeah.
Where's Nori? So you get-
Yeah. So I mean, I think just the beginning is getting acquainted with everything. I think so. The visuals were awesome. We're going to talk about that. I think we all agreed on that. And then the music was pretty good for me. I bet you guys were more.
I liked the
loved
music
it.
a lot.
Yeah. It was all right. I think there was like some shining points, like the dwarf Khazad-dûm.
Yeah, I
that was
think the dwarf
awesome.
music is great.
That music was great. And then near the end, there was some more chorusy bass stuff. I really liked that a lot. And then actually there was a song for the Harfoots actually that I really enjoyed too. It was more lighthearted, more adventurous, and I was like, "Yep, I'm nabbing that song for sure." That was super good. But yeah, a lot of intrigue in the different characters. I was like, man, how long is she gonna swim for? You know, I was like,
I know.
they
That's
must have
rough.
insane stamina as elves swimming. But no, there were some parts where I was like, it's okay. But most of it I really enjoyed and was impressed by. So just generally positive. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But it was a lot of content. It was like two hours, 10 minutes.
So they obviously have to set up a lot because you have a lot of history. I thought the opening was really cool. They kind of gave you a history of what's going on.
It still is probably rough for a lot of people.
Well, yeah, but I think there is kind of, that talk about Morgoth and all that kind of stuff
Right.
and how the elves came to Middle Earth. So I think there is a ton of information that they're giving you. And then there's a lot of characters that, especially with elves, that have been alive for centuries, And so all these characters, they're trying to introduce these characters that already have a backstory and stuff. So I think for the most part, I thought they did a really good job of that. I kind of was invested. I thought the Galadriel and her brother scenes I liked, and kind of setting up why she is so fixated on Sauron. I thought it worked for me. It might have, I think for other people might complain that it was a little too quick. But for me, it worked. Maybe it's because I was excited for the show, so I'm going to be invested in it. I kind of agree with you on the little things. I felt some stories were weaker than others, but for the most part, I'm kind of even the Harfoots, the fact that there's the Meteor Man that came down, and there's the intrigue of who is that? Is that Gandalf? Is that Sauron? Is that Tom Bombadil? Is that any another made up character? I think that's interesting, and that gets me excited. And there's kind of an element. I like Nori. I don't necessarily like the rest of the characters in the Harfoots, but
Really?
I'm kind of intrigued with Nori. I thought she did a good job. The other thing that was a standout for me is I just think the acting in general is really good. I really like the Elrond.
Okay.
My favorite character were the dwarves. I thought the dwarves were really good. I like Durin a lot, and I don't know his wife's name, but I thought she was actually good.
Nessa. Wow. I never remember any names.
So that
Give me
to
a
me
point,
was
too.
something.
I think it's Disa, actually.
I think it's Nessa.
think-
It's like old Nessie.
I think it would be Disa.
Okay,
I think
darn.
it's D's nuts.
You got
taking-
close, though. Close enough.
I'm gonna Google it just so I can get a point. I'm probably wrong.
But so
be honest.
for me, I think the acting all really worked. The one annoying character to me was the punchable elf face guy from the beginning that was always after Galadriel.
Yeah,
Um,
but he's supposed to be like that.
So again, like Corey said, I think it looks gorgeous. One of my favorite shots, and then I'll let you guys talk because people don't want to just hear me. But was in the prologue opening where you've got the bat where they're fighting, and you got the eagle going down, and you got like it looked like a Nazgul, like what they ride.
All the
I don't
fell
know.
beasts.
Yeah, that scene was just awesome. The show looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite shots, seeing the eagle kind of crash and burn, and that battle scene was really cool. But yeah, I'm actually really excited. I really liked it. Me, as somebody who's a fan of Lord of the Rings, who's read the Lord of the Rings, but I haven't read the Silmarillion. I mean, I've read parts of it, but it was when I was younger. I don't remember that much. To me, it worked, and I enjoyed it. I know other people that are bigger fans that know stuff are kind of going to nitpick at certain things, so I'm kind of curious to see what those people think and what Josh thinks, because he's our resident Lord of the Rings expert. But yeah, anyways, Mick and Josh, you guys haven't had a chance to talk. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I really liked it. I
Nice.
thought it was really good. I had, I think, pretty high expectations. Just Lord of the Rings. It's one of probably my favorite film series, favorite just fantasy world. So I was really looking forward to it, and the cinematography was just so fun to look at. It was they were doing a lot of like the kind of depth of field stuff that I think is getting more popular now, like with the Batman.
Yeah.
They used a lot of that in that. But yeah, a lot of just cool imagery too, and it's familiar enough from like the Jackson era, but it feels different, and I think that's good. It's a different age, it's a different time in Middle Earth, so I'm totally fine with it feeling it's its own unique thing. So
Yeah, I think that's what's getting me is that it looks very, very good, and it's very reminiscent of that. But the thing that's getting me, and I think I'm realizing, we just watched it like 10 minutes ago,
Yeah.
so I'm still even processing. But I think the reason why I'm not like in love with it yet is because of the characters, and they're all basically brand new characters, except for Galadriel and what's his name?
Elrond.
Elrond, yeah. But they're new actors, and they're honestly different people. You know what I mean? Like they're hundreds of years or thousands of years before. So
Right.
maybe that's why I'm kind of caught. Maybe I'm not in love with it yet. Because on paper it's really good. So maybe that's what's catching me on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you like about it?
music for sure.
Yeah.
There were even scenes where it felt like the music was like the dialogue, like it was driving the scene. Like there was like little actual talking going on, but the music was kind of depicting what the emotions were from the characters, which I thought was really cool. I think if I had a little bit of complaint, it would, again, kind of what you guys said about the Harfoots. In the beginning, they weren't what I was really interested in, but then with Meteor Man showing up, that was like, okay, there's a mystery going on here. Like, who is this character? I want to know more. So they got definitely more interesting. And I think end of episode 1 and then into episode 2.
Yeah.
But
Ooh, I wasn't super sold on the human elf relationship story at least for like the 90% of it and until the very last 10% of it. How'd you feel about that story?
oh,
arc?
with
the
the chick and the
the
Arondir
guard
and,
guy.
Bronwyn.
it feels like it feels like it's played
Dennis Rodman.
where you should know who the characters are already. Like,
Okay.
maybe that's just me, but it really seemed to just kind of throw you in like you're supposed to know like their history and like who they are.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. But
It felt like I was like starting on episode 3 of a
Yeah.
some kind of show that I'm supposed to know these characters. Yeah.
but I mean they've sorry, I keep touching your leg.
Oh my goodness. That's after dark. After dark. After dark.
Right. That relationship's been going on for a while.
But I mean they played their parts well, so it wasn't like I didn't believe it or anything. It was just like I feel like I'm missing like a piece of the puzzle here. But and at the same time, like, you know, they are laying the groundwork. They're, you know, doing the epilogue stuff. So it's
And it's a lot of different stories.
It's a lot of different stories. That
You have 2 hours, but
yeah, at first
divided
I
by
think it was
5,
a little hard to like. Okay, now we're here. Now we're jumping here. A lot of jumping in it, but I think on some rewatches it'll probably fit a little bit better.
I just don't think there's any other way to do it.
No, there's
and that's
not.
even the aspect of
do you have to tell as many stories? That
Well,
that would be my only question.
I think I don't know where they're leading to, but I think there's a reason.
Well, for sure.
I mean, they've got a lot of stuff. So
I'm just saying
and to
there's a
me,
lot.
like even the story of like it kind of felt like we were saying that with the elf and what did you say? Bronwyn. That it kind of starts with them like, oh, they kind of throw you in like, oh, there's already something going on there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do that without, like, the elf's been there, what he says he's been there 67 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And that, so I feel like they're already thrusting you with, these people already have relationships. You're just kind of jumping in on it. So I think you just kind of have to be like, well, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
You can't kind of introduce every character and be like, oh, let's build it up. It's going to be like, hopefully by episode 4 or whatever, you're gonna like, okay, now once you get to know the characters, you're gonna be like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I'd say at least from right now, the thing I'm most intrigued with those characters is actually, I think it's her son, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the whole sword,
the
blade
blade.
thing, like.
The Morgul blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but it had the same like mark as I guess Sauron's mark, which I don't know if that's from the Silmarillion or
That's made up.
If it's made up, yeah. But
Well,
yeah,
it's vampiric, apparently.
they're definitely like placing, you know, little questions and intriguing things here and there. So it's definitely like I'm hooked. Like I'm ready to go. Like show me more. So, but yeah, I would definitely give it. Well, I won't give it my score yet, but
2 elves.
I mean, if you're ready, you can just fire it off.
don't tempt me. Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it actually. Like, I think it was a really good reintroduction to the world. And they kind of get you, like the intro, like the prologue basically was really cool. Basically condensing thousands of years of the first stage into like, here's a 10-minute prologue for you to get you up to speed. And they technically don't have the rights to a lot of that stuff. So it's like,
I had to do it quick.
they kind of have to just glide over things.
They even mentioned the Silmarils, like in the later with
Yeah, with Celebrimbor, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they have like really cool like nods to
Little
certain
shout-outs,
things, or just
yeah.
being like, "Hey, let's mention Feanor, who created the Silmarils," and all
yeah.
that stuff. Is like that was like really cool for someone that loves those stories and basically like never imagined that we would hear Feanor's name mentioned in a live action
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings show is like pretty cool. Or even just like the mention of Morgoth, you're like, yeah, that's freaking sweet, cool.
I liked how they had his like silhouette in the
Yeah, like
clouds
the shadow.
after burning.
Can they not
the trees.
show him? He's not in. Is he in the appendices?
No, he's not. But they mention him in the Lord of the Rings, which is why they can mention him by
Okay.
name. I don't think they can call him Melkor technically.
Okay.
They can call him Morgoth.
Funny.
That's his second name.
Melkor's his original name.
Original
And
That's his
then
Right.
god name, basically.
Feanor, once he steals the Silmarils, he calls him Morgoth, which
Right.
means the dark enemy, I think. So that's basically like
You can fact
it's like
check
his
him in
curse.
the comments
That's his
if you
curse.
got it right.
No,
curse
he's right.
name basically. But yeah, I mean, one of the things I really liked actually was the dialogue.
Yeah.
Like it, I feel like it didn't feel cheesy to me at all, and I feel like you can kind of run the risk of being like, oh, we're just generic.
I think it was good
fantasy
too.
speak.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the things that they say, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Tolkien's, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't remember. I think it was when they're like in the ice
Punchable
wasteland.
elf face.
Punchable
said,
elf face says something like something about
Where the light
where the
doesn't
light doesn't. Yeah, you know.
dares to
Yeah.
tread or something like that.
Right. And you're like, yeah, that's very eloquent spoken,
Yeah.
like eloquently spoken. And it sounds like that's almost could be ridiculous, like, but it just fits.
Yeah,
And for me, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, the way that they, and I think the writers even said that they wanted to create like a cadence of speech for each race. And you can definitely tell with the elves, or especially Elrond when he speaks, like the way he formulates his sentences, you're like, yeah, that sounds like Tolkien. Like the way that he's saying those things,
Yeah,
the way he
there's-
describes things,
Yeah.
or just the way Tolkien loves similes. So
Yeah.
like anything like, oh, like this, or you know what I mean, like like a what is Galadriel says something like a springless, you know, something or whatever, and that's very it
Yeah.
sounds to me at least. In my opinion, a lot like Tolkien. So that's one thing that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. I thought those were my favorite. That was my favorite parts too, where like the conversations between Elrond and Galadriel, I thought were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just giving like emotion and giving information, but still like interesting dialogue. And I also liked, even though it was like really short, but the Elrond and Gil-galad conversation they had. I thought that was really good. Even his speech when he's like saying stuff and Elrond's kind of repeating it. Obviously,
Right.
like he wrote it or something like that. I just thought that was
Yeah.
really interesting and really well done.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there.
Yeah, there's something definitely like poetic about
Yeah.
it, and not a knock on the Jackson films necessarily, but you don't really get that from those in
Yeah.
the way that you definitely get it from these two episodes at least. So yeah, that was cool.
I am a little surprised they didn't do much of talking in Elvish. Like they had I think the one scene with Elrond and
greet each other.
Galadriel where they greet each other.
Yeah.
I thought they would have more of it and just have subtitles, but I mean they might
Yeah,
have it more. But I was a little shocked by
Those
that.
homies were probably singing in Elvish when they're going to
Yeah.
Valinor or whatever it's called. Yeah.
What else, Choop?
I mean, I think there's one moment that I was like, yeah, that's kind of cheesy, and it was like an editing choice. Is when she cuts the head off the orc, and then I was like,
Yeah.
that's a little cheesy.
I didn't like that.
That kind of pulled me out of like everything else was really good.
What
and
about when she sliced and then the blood hit the lens of the camera?
it was fun.
I like that.
I actually thought that was cool.
I don't like that crap.
I don't like that either.
It
I don't
breaks
like.
it.
I
It
don't
breaks the
like
wall.
when you're like, oh, there's a camera there.
Yep.
Well, then
I
you
don't
guys-
like
Is
that.
it because you guys went like this? You were like, oh,
Yeah,
let me get this.
you guys thought it was
my
on your
glasses.
glasses.
I went to it and there was none. Yeah. There's
Well,
no
you guys
blood.
must not like Zack Snyder films then.
Well, we don't. Anyway,
He just figured it out.
I
That's so crazy.
I liked that scene. I thought one of the coolest scenes was when Galadriel takes out the
Snow troll.
cave troll,
Ice troll.
ice
That was
troll.
was cool.
I thought that was pretty legit, and I also thought it was pretty cool when they all put their swords down. Like when they're like, "We're not," because he pulls his
done
sword
with
out,
this.
and you think they're like, you think it's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna fight, it's a mutiny, but they all lay their swords down. I thought that was really cool.
Well, it's a good opposite shot to them all
Yeah.
raising their swords earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but the Galadriel actress, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. If I had to choose one of the weaker, not the weakest, but weaker actresses or actors, it'd be her. I wasn't super sold on her.
I like it.
For some reason, it's just yeah. Maybe if there was more time spent on the a little bit more between her and her brother. Maybe I would have liked the performance overall in these first two episodes better, but I mean, not bad at all. Just because she's such a main character,
Yeah.
like the main character almost. That's the only reason why I was like hyper attentive to that.
I will say a lot of her dialogue is long and it is very like coming from a perspective of like angry, not necessarily angry, but she has like this, I want to be the fighter, I need to go do this. And so a lot of her dialogue is kind of like not, I won't say rough, but it is kind of like in your face a little bit. So maybe that might be a little bit, but I think
no, I understand that aspect of her, and I actually love that aspect of it because she is war torn, battle hardened, all that.
right.
It would be in the moments where she abandons going to whatever Valinor and dipping out in the water, and then just
Dipping
that
out, I
ship
like what you did there.
and then the aspect of like the ship,
Yeah.
just like almost dying, and like I don't know, I wanted to see a little bit more of her core, like passion or maybe a little bit less hardened in those but she's been in war, so it makes sense that she's chilling. But I thought she would, I don't know, soften up a little bit, but that's just my personal preference. Yeah. Don't worry about that. What do you guys think about Khazad-dûm? I mean, obviously the trailer was not lying. That place was beautiful. Yeah. And at the end we see that the box of goodies that they've got. But what do you think about
box?
What'd you
Mithril.
What's in the box?
What do you think about the characters and kind of how the dwarves were portrayed?
I really liked it. Their door was really cool looking.
Yeah. That's cool.
With like the little gold thing, and then I really like the dwarven masks.
Yeah, their helmets were sick.
Because you see
Those are
like
full head helmets.
They
That's
have like
crazy.
gold lenses or something on them.
yeah, I don't know. They have the little beard guards.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of cool because Tolkien writes about dwarven like masks, but we've never really seen any
That's cool.
in live action. So it's cool to see that. I like Jonah said, or did you say yes? Durin?
yes, I said it. Yes,
That you like Durin a lot.
I did. My favorite character.
Yeah, he was really good, and I like what they're doing. Where
I like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're compressing the timeline. We've talked about it before. So you're basically rushing you're compressing thousands of years of story into, a short span or whatever they're doing. But they're still giving you the sense of like, hey, elves are basically eternal, and everyone else is not. So they're still giving you that scale, which I really liked what they did with Durin being like, dude, you haven't been here in 23 years. Yeah. Like, I'm a different person now. And Elrond's kind of like, wasn't that long.
That was a good scene.
So I like how they're establishing that. And I think we'll see more of that with Numenor also, which is one of like the main issues in Numenor is they're like, we kind of want to live forever too. Like, why do we have to die kind of a thing. So I like how even though they're compressing the timeline, they're still giving you that sense of timelessness or like lack of time in a lot of cases too.
They even do it with the other storyline where he's like, I've been here for 70 whatever years. And yeah.
So I like that they're planting that seed because it is a recurring theme. And I think it's cool that Durin has one of the trees growing in Khazad-dûm.
That was awesome. So I love that.
Yeah, so those trees.
That was a good moment. That was probably one of the best emotional moments right there.
I like that line too where he says, a tree will, of course, a tree will grow where there's love.
Right.
Yeah, in a house like yours.
Like this. And
got him good.
Yeah, because those trees are significant because they only grow in Lindon and then in Lothlorien are the trees that only grow there. And then eventually one grows in the Shire because Sam takes a seed back.
Yeah.
But like to have one growing in Khazad-dûm is kind of a cool concept.
People will be upset about it.
I know. Tolkien didn't write that.
Yeah.
That's the
tree
thing.
Can't be there.
A lot of the changes they make, like even with like Sauron's mark, it's the Eye of Sauron, which we know in the Lord of the Rings. They talk, anytime they see an eye, it's the mark. They don't really talk about it in earlier stages of Sauron being like, oh, he branded people with it. So they're taking a liberty there, but it like makes sense if you're like, oh, this is what his symbol is, and he uses it later. So why wouldn't he be using it now?
Right. It's not like, oh, he had a laser gun in the past.
Even in the Peter Jackson movies, it's like Sauron's a giant fiery eyeball. That's not true. So they're taking they're having to change some things, but at least for me, all the changes that they've made, I'm like, okay, I see why you made that change, and they don't upset me.
So it doesn't take away from any characters at least.
Right.
Does it destroy Tolkien's legacy? Are the books done?
Is your childhood
That's
dead?
does it?
Right now, actually, my books are disintegrating. It's like Back to the Future.
Every episode. Every episode you watch.
Rings of Power.
You open the book
gotta
and
go back.
and the
go back.
letters just like start fading out.
I'm like, Jeff Bezos did this. The Dark Enemy. But yeah, so I mean, they're making changes, but so far I'm on board with the changes they've made. There wasn't anything that I was like, that's a red flag, at least not yet.
So let's talk about the because we before we started this, I asked the question with Meteor Man, right? If it like there. For me, there's like two options that it could probably be someone else, but I'm either thinking it's Gandalf or Sauron, right? In my limited knowledge. Either one of those, is that something that would be like, oh, Tolkien would never do something like that? Is there, like, would you see one being more egregious than the other? Because in your opinion...
The problem with it being Gandalf is that Gandalf doesn't show up until the beginning of the Third Age.
Right.
So he doesn't come to Middle-earth until... so he's not in Middle-earth during the Second Age. So that would be them changing things.
You're bringing him
But they're
early.
compressing the timeline anyway, like we already talked about. So they could be taking that liberty. It could be one of the Blue Wizards is another option, which I know a lot of people are like, make it one of the Blue Wizards because there's literally
But he's not blue.
hardly any, not yet. He's gonna pull out a blue rope. He's like, I like blue, and everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, the Blue Wizard. It's one of the Blue Wizards.
That's going to be his first words.
He's going to pull out a...
like
Morphin' time.
He's gonna be like, I gotta find my brother, my homie, and then you're like, oh,
What's his name? Blue Wizard too.
yeah, I can't remember Palando and something else. They have two names, and then he wrote two different versions of
Yeah.
them, and so
I heard about
they
that.
have two different names.
That's pretty funny.
Palando and Ramondo.
Yeah,
Basically.
that'd be sick.
And then their friend Armando.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, I honestly wouldn't have a problem with it being Gandalf. I think they're kind of showing their hand, kind of like, ooh, but spooky things happen around him, so he's definitely
and the
bad.
flames in the shape of an eye is... They show that in the trailer.
Yeah.
It feels like an obvious misdirection to
Yeah,
me.
it's a red herring, I think.
I don't believe this is Sauron at all.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm fully on board with. I'm like, cool, tease a mystery,
Yeah.
and then we'll find out eventually what it is, and hopefully it pays off.
My I guess thinking it might be Gandalf, that it would kind of fit to me.
Because he's with the Harfoots.
Because with the Harfoots, and
Yeah.
if they're
It's
proto-hobbits,
yeah.
it's kind of like that's why Gandalf always has this kinship towards them.
They even have
that
like
would-
a Frodo-esque character where she wants she yearns
wants to go
for
on an
exploration.
adventure. Yeah, Bilbo
Yeah.
Baggins. Yeah, that kind of. I feel
lot
like
of
that
mirroring.
could. To me, that would be something that I would enjoy. That I think would. Oh, that'd be cool. It kind of gives it a little like, backstory to him having that.
He's
that
also
would be
speaking
interesting.
a little flying. insect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was. But they all died.
killed him.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the difference. So.
He hasn't learned quite yet how to,
He's trying
I
to
think it'd be
remember.
cool if it's the Blue Wizards. That'd be fine, too. It's just kind of
but-
interesting to me that's kind of the mystery right now. It's
mean-
like, who is this guy? And they're kind of building that up, which I thought was pretty well done, actually. I kind of laughed with the whole wheelbarrow
It's-
thing where they started going
Yeah,
down, even
yeah.
though I knew it was coming.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I still laughed.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah.
good on you, Bezos.
If I think we should Bezos. I think we should bet right now on who Meteor Man is.
He's
Just,
Gandalf.
just make a wild guess. I'm going Gandalf.
I think it's Gandalf. But it'd be funny if they made him Tom Bombadil. I think that would
That'd
be
be
that would be
so-
hilarious.
That'd be so sick. Tom Bombadil is like, he's a god, bro. He doesn't live on this.
Better get them boots, though.
I know he's gonna.
Yeah,
that's the reveal. He busts out some yellow boots, and then everyone's like, "It's gonna be a post-credit scene." He's gonna open up a little thing of luggage, and there's gonna be yellow boots in there.
It's first. It's
That's
gonna.
where I put
First,
him.
the yellow's gonna reflect on his face, and you're like,
Yeah,
"What is it?
what is it?"
Gold?"
Yeah,
And
it's like,
then
no,
it's a
boots.
yellow boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's Gandalf.
For Gandalf's, dang,
Wow.
we're gonna be.
Shoot.
It's all or nothing. Then
Well, shoot.
Yeah,
we're either right or we're wrong.
It's our honor.
of us.
Those are the two options.
Nerd Age's honor is on the line. Okay, so let's do. I guess you were ready to fire off a rating. Does Did you want to?
That doesn't mean I have to go first. I mean, someone else can go.
Okay, Jonah.
I really liked it. I wasn't bored with it, even though there wasn't really a lot of action in it. But I was really invested in the dialogue, the characters. Again, the music was great. I got the vinyl. Doesn't come until January, which is insane.
So you're admitting to being biased.
I really like the soundtrack. I had already listened to it beforehand, so it was cool. I thought the acting was really good, and like I said, I think they're setting up things that I'm really interested in, and I can't wait to see more. I'm gonna give it a 9.1. 9.1
Nice. Out of 30.
out of 9.2.
He hated it.
9.1 out of 10.
Nice.
I think it sits at like a 8, like an 8, like a simpleton score of an 8.
Still good.
It's very good.
Like an IGN. He's going with an IGN.
And honestly, it's a lot of like, it's awesome that they gave us 2 hours. There's a lot of story, and I'm excited for what's to come. And the music and visuals are awesome. So, what about you, Mick?
Yeah. I'd probably have to. I would give it a 9. Yeah. There's enough familiar there from the Jackson trilogy that it feels like comfortable, and it seems like they're really respecting, like taking themselves seriously, the writers and just the whole story. So yeah, and it feels like it'll be ramping up even more. We'll get more. I'm assuming things will start to kind of merge together, and separate things that are
characters
happening
will come in. Yeah,
they'll kind of merge and answers will be given. So yeah, I'd probably give it a solid 9 for now.
Nice.
Oh,
here comes the 4.2.
what do you think, Josh?
Well, it's not canon, and Tolkien's rolling over in his grave, so it's a -8. I give it like an 8.7.
Okay,
So I think it was really good.
It's really good.
I think probably it might be a little slow for some people.
Yeah.
but what about for you?
For me, it was fine because
I don't care about other people.
for me, I honestly could have had them do 2 hours of Celebrimbor talking about his granddaddy Feanor, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's go, baby. Tell me more. Tell me more about it. You know what I mean? So
He just sits down and
Yeah,
whips
he's
out
like-
a book and just starts reading to
I'd
you.
be like,
basically.
wow.
Yeah, okay.
This is legit.
So yeah, I'm really excited
It's just an
for
audiobook, basically.
where they're going.
Yeah.
I like the setup. I'm excited to see more about the orcs because
The orcs look sick.
I'm
by the way.
excited to learn more about the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the little kid.
So-
I actually love that.
So that's one of those things that's
I
like
love that type of stuff.
invented, but it's like it fits in the world.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think there's plenty of like mysteries out there that we can kind of like keep you interested. You know what I mean? Because it's like we know that there's 9 ring wraiths eventually that get the rings.
Yeah.
So it's like we need 9
That's going to be part of this.
men characters that need to be turned into ring wraiths. So it's like, is that kid one of them? Is Halbrand one of them?
The kid that flicked his finger on it.
Yeah. There you go.
Flick this
Remember
finger.
he cut the 2 of them and he cut it. He was, ow. Yeah, that guy's already turning into a ring
Yeah, no,
wraith.
he's
Still
already
shot.
halfway there.
Yeah,
It's like Boromir.
he's like
The shots of
Dad, where
nonsense.
you at? And he's like, he's already like all like sweating profusely,
But yeah, it'll be. I'm
Cool.
excited.
These are great. Yeah, great ratings.
I do have a question mainly for you, if you know. The tower that they're building, is that something that you know about?
I don't know if there's a specific tower that Celebrimbor makes his stuff in. He does have like a guild of smiths, basically. So I
the
don't.
2 towers. Ever heard of them?
I don't know.
No, I've not.
Yeah, off the
just
top of my
one
head,
of
I'm not sure if there's like he has a specific forge that he uses.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like it makes sense that he would be like, I need something
forge
hot
to make the
enough to
ring.
make
Yeah.
make
Right.
rings of power.
Yep.
Because Sauron needs Mount Doom to basically make them. So
They don't have the rights to say rings of power, so they're gonna have to be power rings.
yeah, I think so.
That's what we're gonna have to deal with,
Yeah,
guys.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Here's another question. I thought when they were in the leading up to the show, they did posters. Didn't they say that kid was playing Isildur?
No.
Am I completely wrong?
You're completely wrong.
Okay.
He looks like an older version of of him.
kid?
The guy
I-
that's playing him.
Okay, because I thought there was like a poster, and it was like they said like
That was holding the sword.
that was holding the sword, and they were saying maybe I just connected the kid, but
Yeah.
Which kid? Which kid?
the
Theo.
yeah,
The sword kid.
the sword.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sword in the stone. Yeah, no. Because
Because then when she was calling him through, I was like,
you're
I was like, oh, it's not a seal door.
yeah, I think we're going to see a Isildur in the next episode. Because I think that's what we'll introduce Numenor. So
Okay, I love that. Hey, I'm looking out for it. How long do you think episode 3 is going to be? Think it's going to be like just
4
another
hours.
1 hour?
I think they're all probably 1 hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for the season finale. Hour and a half.
8.
Oh, yeah.
See, we
It's gonna-
always
it's
do
gonna
this.
be
we
like
always
a
do this. We're gonna be.
freaking
It's like
Mandalorian.
Star Wars. We're like
25 minutes.
Oh, really?
Well, it was you who said it was going to be a
Title.
runtime of 3 hours.
No, he said it.
Oh, is it?
Guys,
And he didn't know anything all night.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything.
why are we pointing fingers? Remember when
was
I
like, "There's
said-
only one episode
Remember when I
tonight."
said that?
That's true.
Remember when I
yeah.
said that Hogwarts Legacy got
Yeah,
delayed and
that's
you
true.
guys didn't believe me? A week later, it got delayed.
I did not believe you. I just I didn't
He's just
see
upset.
anything.
He didn't want to
official.
believe it.
and I didn't want to believe it. Yeah, I was
Well,
in denial.
guys,
Even
I'll
a
do it.
broken clock is correct twice a day.
honestly, I'm most of the time I'm wrong about things.
Ah,
then I'm
yeah,
right, but
yeah,
every
it's-
once in a while,
it makes it
I'm
more
right.
fun, dude.
There we go.
You gotta take your shot. Shoot your shot.
right.
Love that.
Anyone else have anything to say on the Rings of Power? I will. Sorry, I'm.
Oh,
asking
you
a
just-
question
Anyone else
myself.
say? I'm glad you asked.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jonah.
I really liked the opening. I'm a sucker for opening.
I do love. I love
credits.
the yeah. That's good.
The opening credits were pretty awesome. One of my all-time.
Wait. Of second episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like the intro.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites is the Pacific. Even though the show isn't as good as Band of Brothers, but the Pacific
yeah.
opening, I can just every
does
once
have
in a
a
while I'll
great
just
intro.
open it.
Yeah.
This one was pretty cool, and I just loved how all the design stuff worked and the music was good. Howard Shore did the opening credits, so I really liked it. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I want to say.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited. I know there was it took me a little bit to get used to short-haired elves. There were quite a few of them. There were some that had little mullets.
Yeah.
But I got over it pretty fast. And I know people were upset about Celebrimbor is just an old guy. But I kind of like the actor, at least from what I've seen of him so
Wait till
far.
he takes his
He's
clothes
supposed
off.
to be
ripped up.
ripped.
Here's the
The
thing, though.
Hercules under there.
He's supposed
He's
to be
making
Hercules.
jewelry, bro. He's not a smithing swords. He's smithing. He's got a little hammer.
Yeah, he's got.
You know what I mean? It's not
hammer
like
and
he's
chisel,
making
bro.
armor.
And a little monocle that he looks
Yeah.
in.
It's a finesse. It's a finesse.
All the
situation.
illustrations you've seen have lied
Yeah.
to you.
It's all about the heat.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
All about the heat.
Right. Heat and leverage.
Just wait till he takes his shirt off. It's probably like he's Photoshopped, dude. It's
That'd be
just like
sick, dude.
CGI.
Let's be
He's
clear.
CGI.
Let's be clear. I don't care.
I mean, that's what sounded like you.
I
wanted.
just the way they represented him. I just thought he'd be ripped.
He's gonna rip his cloak off and he's gonna have
And I didn't
pierced
think-
nips.
I didn't think he'd be so old. That'd be yeah. Well, his custom jewelry, obviously.
It's gonna be like the Rock's body.
Yeah.
He's like, check out my rings of power.
Yeah.
They've got little rings with a good little like leaf. Like the,
No. Someone's like, that's where the Silmarils are. They did say that Morgoth or that he was staring into the Silmarils. Was that correct? I thought you had to be pure of heart to look at them.
No, you can look at them.
Oh, okay.
'Cause,
or no, what the
I thought it was touching.
You can't grab 'em.
Galadriel's ring you can't look at because if you're not pure of heart, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. Put another point on there.
Look at it.
By the way, it
I'm
is
giving
Nissa,
Corey
by the
2
way,
points.
you're right. No, take the
Tell us
other
in
one
the
away.
comments if he's wrong,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
subtract the point.
Tell us how many points I actually deserve. Is it negative 10? That's how I feel.
You gave it an 8, so negative 10 by most people.
Okay, well.
I'm at negative 20 for giving it a 9.2.
I'm giving it my best, guys. I'm trying. But anyway, awesome. That was Rings of Power. Super stoked. I'm glad we stayed up and watched it. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
was a
But
good time.
until next time, guys.
Keep it here for all your Rings of Power.
tuned
stuff.
in.
Tune
Yeah.
in.
Let us know what you guys thought about the 2 episodes. Let's have a conversation down below.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, bring the hate. I'm ready for it. I'm just kidding. But if I see that stupid quote about evil not being able to create anything again, I'm gonna freaking lose it. We're gonna have to prep that George Costanza
I already
rant.
have it prepped. Next week.
All right.
Incoming rant. Like a Balrog.